Hello Internet, and welcome to my ultimate golden gear guide, which will focus on only one thing, helping you beat everything in this new mode so you can grab upwards to 4,000 stellar jades. This might be your last hope of grabbing Ron mate if you haven't yet, so yeah, we'll start with just clearing difficulty 1 through 5,000. You do get jades that way. Use the timestamps to skip to wherever you need. Let's first very quickly go through what you have to do to earn most of your jades. Number 1 would be clearing each difficulty for the first time ever. Number 2 would be unlocking secrets. I'll start by explaining number 1. The undisputed most accessible path to beat every difficulty even up till 5 is the remembrance path with bar 7. So yeah, go ahead and choose that. After that, you'll see this screen which asks you to ban 2 paths as well as select your team. To choose which path you want to ban, simply put, keep in mind that you should ban the ones that doesn't help you survive and has no interplay with your current path. I chose elation and erudition here, but remember, survival is everything in this mode. After that, select your team. March 7th and Natasha are both free, so you should have them. You can swap up Natasha for any other sustains if you own them. Here are the stats you should go for. The worse they are from this, the more susceptible to RNG your run will be. The rest of the 2 needs to consist of 1 damage dealer for now. You need this person to beat the mobs and elites while you're trying to get the blessings you need. The last slot can be anyone, but ice support characters will be ideal here. It depends on what you got. After you selected everything, you'll now be shown a wall of text that's too long to hold your attention. I will start with the TLDR. Go to the 3rd icon. You're on the first dice here. Click confirm. Congrats, you can now start the game. And now for the longer explanation. Remember how in Swarm we have this dice thing that we roll after each domain? This screen here allows you to choose from 12 different dices that you can use in Golden Gear. You can also edit the die faces, something you can't do in Swarm. To have the most efficient run possible, edit your dice face so that there are as many options that applies to term knowledge to domains. Don't worry about it, just do it. Now that we're set, we click confirm and we're greeted by yet another wall of text. TLDR, this does not matter. Now we're finally in the game. Your dice will take effect and 2 domains will be applied with knowledge. This knowledge thing basically increases your cooldown instead of decreasing it if you step on one. So all you gotta do is beat a domain, roll your dice, apply as much knowledge to domains as you can, go into those domains, get more cooldown, rinse and repeat. This is similar to how you play the abundance path with the mercy effect. Go through as many domains as possible so you get as many blessings as possible without getting into the planar disarray. Here are the only 2 blessings you really need for the run. The one that applies dissociation as you hit a frozen enemy, and the one that does the same thing except only if you break the weakness of an enemy. Dissociation allows you to do damage based on the enemy's max health, so you don't have to do damage yourself, you just have to apply this debuff. If you don't have at least one of these blessings, it's over, reset the run, you're dead. Here are a few that makes them even better. Shudder, Melancholia, and Unspeakable Shame. Shudder applies ice weakness no matter what, so you'll have a guarantee that you can ice break them and land dissociate. Melancholia removes dissociation for damage, allowing you to reapply them for more damage. Unspeakable Shame lowers freeze resist, something a good number of bosses have. If they get frozen, you have a way to win, so try and get them to be frozen. Needless to say, try and get the interplays as well. As you're collecting your blessings, you realize there is this bar here. All this does is, if you keep it in the recommended range, you get to unlock secrets, meaning you get stellar jades from it. You can increase or decrease the bar by entering these intra-cognition domains. I suggest you don't chase after it on your first attempt, just get them if you can, leave them if you cannot. You can always just go to difficulty 4 and farm them some other time. Now that you have everything set up, clear your way through the planes. You'll now be fighting the 2nd plane boss, which will look something like this. Now what you gotta do here is, firstly, identify which one of them you can beat. It doesn't matter what effects they say they'll provide, since if you cannot beat them, you're screwed anyway. You're looking to fight enemies with the lowest freeze or control resistance as possible. A simple Google search will tell you how much they have. If you see Cocolia in Ebola Deer, you have no choice but to fight Ebola Deer, since Cocolia would have 100% freeze resistance. Now, if you're sure both options have the same freeze resist, you can finally think about the effects that they give you. Now, it basically gives the plane 3 boss a path resonance. Yep, we're just buffing our enemies at this point. There's not much you can do about this, all of them sucks for you, which is why I've mentioned that survival is everything in this mode. I find that the easiest way to win would be to also focus on getting survival blessings from preservation or destruction. Pick a resonance for the enemy that primarily does damage to you, survive through everything, and dissociate your way to victory. I've fought every resonance up till this point, and you can still win no matter what they end up having as long as your blessings are not terrible. And with that, you'll proceed to the final boss, going through knowledge domains as much as you can. Different from Swarm, you get to choose who is the boss you fight out of 3 possible options. Thankfully, all of them has ice weakness, so yeah, ice characters with the remembrance path will work beautifully. I suggest fighting the Swarm boss, as you know what it does from playing Swarm 5 and you know what to expect. Honestly as well, I think it's an easier option. At this point, you should have a lot of blessings that can do the damage for you, because truth be told, your Jing Liu that does 200k damage, yeah, that doesn't even tickle the boss. Which is why before you go into the fight, make sure every character has as much tank stats as possible level without dropping your speed. Keep him above 120 if you can. This includes even your damage dealer. Or heck, you can download someone else that's tankier and can break the enemy's weakness. The trick here is to weakness break your enemy and survive. You can do this both, you can win. Make sure to upgrade your blessings as well. Only upgrade the ones that makes it easier for you to freeze and dissociate your enemies. As long as you can freeze them, you win. This one that allows you to ignore freeze resistance and apply dissociation is very good. If you followed this video and you didn't get rolled by RNG, then boom, you should be dealing massive damage to whichever boss you might fight through dissociation. This is the most accessible path since as long as you have a free march, you can win. Keep in mind that on the off chance you can't beat it, you will still be able to slowly upgrade your neural network similar to Swarm, which buffs you. So keep on trying, guys. Now that you've beaten every difficulty, you are done. Oh, I bet you wish you're done. These are called conundrum levels, and you can think of them just as a fancier way to say difficulty 6 and above. I'd suggest to not even touch these if you're just trying to get the final bits of jades for Ranmei. Simply repeat difficulty 4, keep your intro cognitions in the recommended level, unlock secrets, and get your jades that way. But if you're done with all of that, and you still need a bit of stellar jades, it's time to deal with conundrums. Conundrum 1 till 6 does have first time clear reward, so it is worth for you to do it. And luckily for you, the same tactic should still work, but a bit less consistent. The few things that are different is that you must avoid giving your enemies the abundance resonance. At Conundrum level 2, they now get one path formation, and the path of abundance has a formation that will allow them to dispel 4 debuffs, which is detrimental to your dissociation tactic as they'll just cleanse it off. The second worst path would be using the hunt path for your enemies. One of the formations will allow the boss to take its turn immediately. You just die if that happens during his ult. The rest, well, they all suck really. But as usual, as long as you can survive, you're good. So yeah, keep repeating the same tactic and you should be fine. If you're just here for the jades, you can stop after beating Conundrum 6. But if you're a perfectionist like me, we play Conundrum 8 till 12. The problem is that the enemies here has insanely high damage and control resistance. As I said, prioritize survival. If you cannot survive, you just die. Yeah, crazy, I know. Hence, getting blessings like macro segregation and reflection will need to be in your rulebook. You can't just mindlessly pick your own past blessing now. I also suggest you upgrade this blessing as well. Ignoring the freeze resist will be your guarantee that worst come to worst, you break the boss 10 plus times and win. However, this is simply the most accessible path. I'll now demonstrate the safest and the longest path to beat high conundrum levels. Funnily enough, all you gotta do is swap your path over to nihility. Everything else is kinda same. Prioritize survival with every step, and instead of hoping for dissociations, you only have to rely on dots from your path resonance, which are way easier to land on the bosses. The most ideal team would be 3 sustains plus a Kafka. The less ideal team would be the same, but swap Kafka out for any tanky characters. Note that this means you might get wiped from berserk stacks if you take too long, but it can be avoided with good enough blessings, especially with a mix of dissociation blessings. Having a Kafka halves your time on beating the boss though, so yeah, at high conundrum levels, it is a lifesaver to avoid berserk stacks. Now that you have your team, here's the run you'll have. Most of it is surviving and using your resonance, activating your dots as much as you can, and through Nihility's blessing that could heal you, decrease the enemy's attack, and regenerate your energy, you should be equipped to not die. From experience, you will struggle the most if the boss has the abundance formation, since this strategy takes a long time and it's less explosive. They could just stall you out till berserk happens and you will likely die if they're on the abundance formation. The hunt path is the same, where if they get to use their ulti with the extra turn, you might just die. However, it's not impossible to do, it's just that you might need better blessings than timing, but I'd rather just fight some other paths if possible at all. And if you followed the video till now, you should be beating Conundrum 12 and reap those sweet rewards. Gosh dang, they're not really that good, huh? But yeah, if you're here for just the stellar jades, you can still get some by completing challenges with different dices in lower difficulty. You'll feel that you're smurfing in bronze rank at that point, after the shit you've been through at Conundrum 12, man. But anyways, that is all. I hope I helped you out, and comment after watching this video, I beat C12 and my life has changed. Thank you, god doggos. But yeah, good luck with your run. That is all. Take care.